Good morning. Today we're going to talk about fly rods, specifically how to test a fly rod and what you should look for when you're doing that. Spring has sprung. We're going to have 10 days of high 40s, low 50s in Montana. Towns are flooding, so of course that makes you think about going and buying a new fly rod. What I'm going to do for you today is I'm going to teach you how to not look foolish when you walk into a fly shop to test a rod. And I'm going to show you what the most common thing is. Two things, obviously, that people shouldn't do. Not obviously. If it was obvious, they wouldn't do it. The two things I think you shouldn't do, because they don't really tell you much about the fly rod. And so, before we get into that, I have a rod here. This is the Legend X. This is the big game rod. This is the rod you would use for pike, muskies, giant trout, like Johnny catches. And what I want you to see, a couple things about these rods, this isn't really about selecting rods, but you're going to see this come out in the next 2 to 3 years. You're probably going to see cork go away, and you're going to see these new synthetic handles. Do not be afraid of them. They rock. These things are great. And I first got one, I thought they were going to be slippery. I thought that they were going to be just really did not feel good in the hand. I love these things. I wish every rod had them right now. But it's going to be a hard fight because people are used to cork. But that's not what we're talking about. What we're going to talk about is testing the rod. And what I want you to do is I want you to walk into the fly shop and look really like you really know what you're doing and not do the thing that most people do. And what I'm going to show you is what 99% of the people that walk into a fly shop, what they do. And the reason I picked this Legend X is because it's a pretty fast rod, right? And so what most people do is they walk in, you hand them the rod, and they take it and they do this, and they shake it. That makes you look like an idiot because you do not cast a rod like this. When you shake a rod like this, it tells you absolutely nothing about the rod. Not only does it tell you nothing, it actually tells you things you don't want to know. What you'll have people pick this rod up, which is a fast rod. This is a buddy rod. It's got a big hind end. It's made to fight big fish. And they'll take it and they'll shake it like this, which creates harmonic motion. It starts the thing going a shock wave, and they say, oh, it's kind of soft. That is absolutely ludicrous. It is not a soft rod. The way you test a rod is try to mimic what you would do while you're casting. What I like people to do is to take the rod with two hands and do this and move the rod in one movement and back, because then instead of having this harmonic motion which tells you nothing, God help you if you're using a lightweight rod, because then it really feels like a new. What this does, if you can do it with one hand like that, better yet, because do one movement. Don't do it faster. You'll see people do this. Well, hell, you don't cast that fast. Your line would be 200 yards away from you if you could do that. What you cast is like this, and that tells you a little bit more. A dry rod, not having a line on it, not casting it, doesn't tell you a lot anyway. This tells you nothing. This tells you a little bit more. I like to see people take the rod with two hands and flex the rod, because then what you see is where the rod truly flexes. If you take, for example, this is a bank router, all right? This is a 5-weight. You can shake this rod and you get that harmonic motion going, and you think it's got a really soft, I heard that about this rod a lot when it first came out. Oh, it's got a real soft tip. It does not have a soft tip. It's got a 1/over tip, meaning a 5-weight's a 6, sometimes 6.5, like if you go up them, as they go up, they get about a half line heavier yet. So it does not have a soft tip, it's got a soft mid-flex. Right here in the second section, right in here, that's the soft spot of the rod. But when you do this, the tip is fast, and so the only place you see it wiggling is in the middle, but you think it's the tip. When you take the rod like that, suddenly all that tip goes away. Now you're starting to feel the flex of the rod. Nice and soft. Bring it back and stop it. You're trying to see how quick it dampens. Boom, back it comes just like that. If you take a rod, for example, now I've got this is the high stick drifter. This is a 10-foot rod. And you'll see this is so common. People come in, and that, especially in the lighter weights, and the first thing they do is that. They just give it that ridiculous wiggle. Tells you absolutely nothing. It's a longer rod. It's a 10-foot rod. As soon as you start the wiggle, obviously you get that harmonic motion, which is continuous motion, and it starts wiggling even crazier. Then you go like this, and you go, wow, it doesn't feel anything like that. I had a friend with this rod, 10'4", Larry Rainey. He's a really good spey caster, and he was testing the rods on a pond. And he said, and I saw some guys wiggling it like this, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, don't do that. You should, this is how you do it. And Larry takes the rod, and he goes, and he throws 105 feet with that thing on a single spey. He goes, wow, that's a pretty strong rod. Everybody stops because they're like, oh my God, how did that happen? They thought when they were shaking it, because they did that it was soft. You take the rod and do a nice slow movement just like that. Don't shake it. Boom. One. Then you'll start to see where the rod flexes. But above all things, take it out and cast the rod preferably on the water or in the lot, whatever it is. Don't cast 70 feet of line. It doesn't tell you anything because you never cast that far. Cast how far you fish. Okay, enough of that. Now we're going to go on to balancing a rod with the reel. I just weighed 3 reels. Just broke 1 rod. Not really. Can't break a St. Croix. All right. I just weighed 3 reels. Just a little tiny 4-weight. This is the reel, the bigger size for a 6'7", and this is the same thing in Able, a little heavier reel. And what people are trying to do, I don't know where this trend started. We demasculated ourselves somewhere along the line that we had to have all this light stuff. This reel and this reel, obviously much different sizes. This reel only weighs 2.5 ounces less than this one. Being the big, strong people that you are, that's not going to hurt you. But I want you to think of something, because we have people constantly asking us, will that reel fit on this rod? Well, the only thing that makes a reel fit on there is that reel seat. They'll all fit. Now, rather they fit and balance your rod out, and that's where things start going south. People put the reel on, and they do this crap, where they put the reel and they try to pretend that this is a balance point. You'll see them do this all the time. Oh yeah, that's a good balance. They're forgetting the fact that they got 30 foot of line and force times velocity and all that stuff. You got a line speeding back and forth. You got 30 foot more, so it's a whole different world because the weight's now on the tip. The heavier the reel, it's like a metronome. It's got a big heavy weight on the bottom and it's doing timing, tick tock, tick tock. The whole thing is the weight's at the bottom, so you're balanced. So when you're looking at your rods and reels, don't be afraid to go a bigger reel size than they tell you. I go 2 sizes bigger on all of my rods. I like that heavier weight. I'm not afraid of 2 or 3 ounces. I'm pretty sure at the end of the day you're going to be able to use that. You got those big strong arms, you're going to be able to cast it. But what it's going to do, it's going to balance. You put this bigger reel on, it's going to help you balance the line speed. The new rods are way faster. They generate more line speed, so the bigger reel is actually going to balance it out a little bit better. You're also going to find that you get a lot faster pickup on the reel, so when you're reeling, you're going to pick up line quicker than you would with a small one. So, going into the fly shop, pick the rod up, don't wiggle it like an idiot, wiggle it like you know what you're doing, just like that, nice and slow. Don't do it fast. When you're looking at your reels, I personally like to go up at least 1 size, get a little extra weight in the rear end. It'll help you balance the line speed out on the rod. Hope that helps you out. Thanks.